I'm Lori Lyons. I'm from the Foundation Fighting Blindness, and I think we're going to be a fairly intimate session today, which will be nice for everybody and for the opportunity for you to ask lots of questions. So this is Finding Services and Support in Edmonton, and I'd like to welcome Mindy to the platform. She's a community education and peer support specialist at the CNIB in the Northern Alberta region, and she focuses on public education and community development. She's delivered workshops and seminars and traveled extensively throughout Alberta to build community connections and support for people living with vision loss. So Mindy will share local resources and local vision services with you today, and there will be lots of time for questions. So please hold all of your questions until the end of the talk. So please welcome Mindy.
Hello everybody and welcome. I walked in here, this is a lot more fancy than I'm used to, so thank you all for coming today. As Lori was saying, it's kind of a little bit of an intimate group here, so I'm going to be calling on everybody for a very good question, so formulate it in your head now. No, I'm just kidding. So I'm here today to just talk about services, primarily of course CNIB, where I'm situated and where I work. And talk about the process of becoming a client at CNIB and a little bit about our services. As well, we have Evelyn from ASRAB here, so she might tell you a little bit more about that. I did kind of connect with them a bit earlier, but she's a little more well-versed in their services than I. So great resources here today. I feel like everyone's so far away. And plus I'm not used to using a microphone because I walk and I talk. So welcome everybody, thanks for coming. For those of you who aren't familiar with CNIB, first of all, who has heard of us before today? Oh good, okay, so you folks, you know what I'm talking about, that's wonderful. So of course we're a registered charity and we passionately provide community-based support, knowledge, and a national voice to ensure Canadians who are blind or partially sighted have the confidence, skills, and opportunities to fully participate in life. So a big misconception with CNIB is that you have to be completely blind to access our services. This is of course not the case. Services are available for anyone who has uncorrectable vision loss. Actually 90% of our clients have some degree of sight, so this can range from moderate light perception to the early stages of dry age-related macular degeneration. So most people I work with, their reasoning for coming to CNIB is AMD. We're seeing a huge increase in that population, but that's not to say that is the case in all of our clients. So what happens when you contact CNIB? So if you do feel that you could utilize our services, I'll tell you a little bit more in depth about them as we proceed here. But I just wanted everybody to know there's no charge for our services. So we are a not-for-profit organization, but we don't charge clients for our services. So we want to allow people to maintain independence in their own lives. But of course, we wouldn't charge if you're taking, orientation and mobility lessons or independent living skills lessons. So coming into CNIB, you can phone us, you can walk in to our building on Jasper Avenue and 120th Street and become a client. We will take down your basic information. I should say too, if you're at your optometrist or your ophthalmologist's office, they can refer you to us as well. But what we do, we take down your basic information and of course your optometrist or your ophthalmologist's name so that we can contact them later on. So we do contact them and we get them to send in your latest eye report so that we know about your eye condition and how we can best assist you. So after we receive your eye report, we usually try to get your eye report before we begin kind of the process of different services. However, sometimes there's a little bit of lag time. We understand optometrist office, ophthalmologist offices are busy. Sometimes they don't have the opportunity to send in your latest eye report to us. You can either phone them and request that they send it to us, or we can phone them, whatever your preference is. But sometimes there is that lag time. So a lot of times we will get those services started for you prior to receiving your eye report. It's just nice to have it because then we know a little bit more about your visual condition. So someone will phone you from CNIB after we do receive it and talk to you about all the services that we offer. So this can be done over the phone or in person. We understand that not everybody lives in Edmonton, and sometimes getting a ride in is a lot more difficult. So can be done over the phone, and we encourage family members, friends, or anyone who might be able to support you to be present, whether on the phone with you or within the office as well. Sometimes it's a lot of information to take in when you're learning about all of our services, and it's nice to have somebody else there. So this gives you an opportunity to ask questions about CNIB services, or even talk about concerns that you might have as a result of your condition. So as we're proceeding and telling you about all the services, you can say yes or no to as many or as few of the services as you would like. But if you are interested in a service, that particular CNIB department will receive your information, and they'll contact you regarding the service that they do provide. They'll speak with you about the difficulties that you might be experiencing in certain areas, and work with you and your family to plan what you would like to work on to maintain independence. So again, at present, you might not have a need for all of the services that we do offer. You can utilize one or two, and that's definitely fine. If your vision changes, so let's say with the process of dry age-related macular degeneration, if you find, years down the road your vision is deteriorating, you can come back to us and say, you know what, I did not want orientation and mobility training or white cane skills training, but actually, you know what, I do want it now, and that's fine. Once you're signed up as a client, you can come back to us and utilize any of those services. So definitely, vision loss is tough to deal with, especially sometimes, and a lot of the folks that I work with, if you've had 20/20 vision your whole life with something like AMD, if it's suddenly taken away from you, that can be a lot to deal with. So we do provide information and support not only to clients, but to family members and friends as well. And we do, again, welcome family to be part of your experience. Anyone can visit us for information about different eye diseases and CNIB services. Of course, when you get family members involved, how they can best support you as well. I was talking about vision loss and, definitely it being a lot to deal with. So we do offer peer groups at CNIB, and many people do find them beneficial. Clients are welcome to attend the peer groups. Most of them are drop-in. I do have some information with regards to the senior peer support groups that I help to facilitate, along with some volunteer facilitators. We also have different groups as well. So sometimes our employment programs will run a group for that age range. We've got a telesupport group for working age individuals as well. We've also got a lot of children's groups too. So I know they put on generally holiday events, that sort of thing. I'm not sure if anybody was watching the news yesterday, but they went out to Cavalia. So yeah, they got the opportunity to go out. My favorite part at the end of that, there was a little boy hugging the horse. So it was very, very cute. So lots of different activities, and just involving family and friends definitely as well. And majority are drop-in. For a lot of our groups, there is no charge, except of course if we do an activity, sometimes there is a bit of a charge. For my group, we went to Be Made Honey, and there was of course a charge for the bus, that sort of thing. So, but other than that, it's a drop-in, and everybody's welcome to attend. We always welcome family and friends to come in as well. So what do we do in groups? We discuss vision loss. Sometimes the direct service staff come in for presentations. We get presentations from relevant community resources. Sometimes it's a casual meetup group, so we do have that opportunity to chat about things as well. As well at CNIB, I don't know if anybody's been to the CNIB store on Jasper Avenue and 120th Street. Yeah, I see some nods, good, okay. So you folks know what I'm talking about. Again, at our store, we've got many items that can help make everyday life just a little bit easier. You can also access the web store at cnib.ca. In fact, on the website, there's a lot of good information and resources and information about our peer groups on there as well. Client support services are also available, so you can speak to somebody about your vision loss, and if needed, they might link you to outside resources that can provide more support. So this can assist even family members in understanding vision loss a little bit better, and how they can best provide support and assist in linking your family member or friend to external resources as well. At present time, we don't offer counseling services at CNIB, but we can provide referrals to outside resources, and this is definitely something that we're looking at working towards in the future. So. We've got our low vision services, and actually Cheryl is presenting later on this afternoon, so if you get a chance to go see her presentation. She's one of our low vision specialists, and what they do is look at your functional vision and even look at magnifiers and see what's going to work best for you. There's many different shapes and sizes and strengths of magnifiers. We at CNIB don't want you to purchase something that's not going to work for you, so they let you kind of sit down and test drive them, if you will. Also, what we found, a lot of folks will walk away from their ophthalmologist's office maybe after getting the news that they've just been diagnosed with dry AMD, and that's all they'll hear. Right? That's all they'll hear after it. So they won't maybe hear about more of their condition. They won't hear about kind of that functional vision aspect of it. So what our low vision specialists do, they can help to explain eye conditions if you have any questions. If you're anything like me, 5 minutes after you walk out of any doctor's office, you're like, oh, I should have asked them this question. So they're a great resource. They're good at answering questions as well. Every time I have a question from a group that I can't answer, I go to them for information. So we've got our independent living skills team as well, or ILS for short. Again, what they help people do is maintain independence in their own lives while experiencing vision loss. So if you've always enjoyed cooking, but it's become a little bit more difficult if you can't read your recipes anymore, if you're maybe afraid that you'll leave the stove on or turn it to the wrong temperature. They've got tips and tricks and tools in order for you to maintain independence in your own life. One lady had the question, she really liked painting her fingernails, and she said, well, how do I continue to do that if I can't really see where I'm putting the paint anymore? So they said, you know what, put your fingernail polish in the freezer, and then you can feel it where it's going on. So they're full of different tips and tricks. They have ways to show you how to organize your closets. Let's say with AMD, navy blue starts to look a lot like forest green. Sometimes it's harder to tell those colors. They have ways to kind of organize it, or again, different tips. So maybe putting a pin in the back of all your black pants so you know it's the black one. So lots of different things. Those basic everyday skills are really important. We've got our assistive technology services, and if anybody's a computer user, there are talking computer programs, JAWS, we've got Zoom Text and Enlargement computer program, or if you want to learn keyboarding skills as you lose vision, we have the opportunity to show people how to utilize those programs. Then there's also closed circuit televisions. It's a big TV screen reader that enlarges print bigger than a magnifier ever could. So the assistive technology services, that's primarily what they do. A big one, and I'm not certain if anybody's heard about our library services out of Toronto. So as a client of CNIB, our library services are free to you. We send books out directly to you on disc. It's in DAISY format, and if you ask me what the acronym stands for, I never remember, but basically one novel, even if it's a really long novel, comes on one disc. It's sent directly to you in the mail. When you're done with it, you pop it back in the envelope and send it back. There's no charge to you. You can have up to as many as 15 books at the same time. You can pick author, genre, subject, whatever you like. There's also magazines available too that you get to hang on to. I believe there's Maclean's, Chatelaine, Reader's Digest, so a whole litany of things that is available. There's also descriptive video available as well. So we've also got our Library Partners program too. So for anyone who's experiencing a print disability, they're welcome to sign up at their local library. Some libraries, I know Edmonton Public is involved with us, but in smaller towns it's kind of hit and miss, but a majority of libraries are involved with us through the Library Partners program. And anyone with a print disability is welcome to sign up with their local library and have access to CNIB books. The books will not be sent to them directly in the mail, but they will be able to access those DAISY format books and get what they need sent to their local library. So if you know anybody, even maybe with arthritis, dyslexia, that sort of thing, they're welcome to be part of that program as well. So we're trying to extend, of course, our library services to many more people who need it. We've got volunteer services. We've got a Vision Mate program. So you have the opportunity to sign up either as a volunteer if you'd like, or as a member of our Vision Mate program. Basic things, sometimes going to the store and looking at those really small tags, looking at labels on stuff that you'd like to purchase at the grocery store becomes a little more difficult. And sometimes people don't have a family member or a friend that might be able to assist them. Sometimes people at the grocery store get awfully busy. So we've got our Vision Mate program that can go to the grocery store with you. And of course, this depends on what you need. We've got people that read paper mail that people get as a Vision Mate to their partner. So again, it's people are partnered up to find kind of the right fit and within the right area. There's also the opportunity to volunteer for some of our special events that CNIB has as well. Now, we do have early intervention services, and I work primarily with seniors, so I'm not as familiar with them, but we do have an occupational therapist that works with children and families. It's 0 to 5, so prior to school. And of course, the OT continues on with them afterwards. But we have those services available. Again, we have low vision services and orientation and mobility skills available for, that's what I missed, O&M skills. Orientation and mobility specialist available for children as well. We've also got, again, I mentioned the activities, but we also have our toy lending library. And a lot of people aren't familiar with this as well. We've got some Braille overlay books where we'll have the picture and the Braille and a clear page on top. So as a parent with vision loss, you can read books to your child and they can still see the pictures, or the child can, of course, read the Braille as they go along with the parent. So lots of different toys and tools, and sometimes it's even interesting for grandparents, maybe they are experiencing vision loss, to be able to access it with their grandchildren. We've got things like bell balls, beeping frisbees, that sort of thing. So that way you still get to participate and enjoy things as well. Orientation and mobility skills, I was going to mention that. Again, our O&M specialists help you get from point A to point B safely and securely. This can be as small as, if you want to kind of arrange your furniture so you quit bumping your leg on that stubborn coffee table. They can kind of devise ways to maybe arrange things a little bit better for you. If you want to learn the bus route from Sherwood Park all the way to West Edmonton Mall, you can work up to that. So they want you to maintain independence and get from point A to point B safely and securely. So we've got, our early intervention services, children and youth services as well. So our children and youth specialist works with school-age children, and I know they work a lot with ERECs and people within the school system in order to assist. They also work with ASVI, another organization that I'll kind of speak to in a second here. But again, to kind of advocate for students and our clients. So, and again, working with parents and schools. We've got our career and employment services. They work at, again, skill building. They work with you to see, what options, opportunities there are. They also have a Toastmasters program within CNIB that we just started. Really exciting opportunity, and it just, allows for all of us to become better speakers. I haven't had the opportunity to become involved in that yet, but I'm hoping in the new year here. So that's it about CNIB. I just wanted to mention, and of course I'm not an employee of them, but there is, of course, FFB, which you all know about because you're at this fine event. We've got Canadian Council for the Blind as well, and I just printed off some of their stuff yesterday. So the main objectives of CCB are to give people who are blind or visually impaired a voice in their own affairs through the consumer advocacy movement, and to provide rehabilitation through, they also have peer support and social and recreational activities. So they are around as well. We've also got ASVI, and as I mentioned before, a lot of parents of some of our child clients are involved in that. So it's Alberta Society for the Visually Impaired, and I know they have a table outside, so I'll let them speak to you because they know more about it. And of course there is ASRAB, so Alberta Sports and Recreation Association for the Blind. And I don't know, Evelyn, if you'd feel comfortable in talking a little bit about, I kind of put you on the spot here, but if you want to come up, because the microphone's here, I'll give you a couple minutes. But again, you can speak to it better.
So I'm Evelyn, and I'm with the Alberta Sport and Recreation Association for the Blind. We have been up and running since the mid-70s, but I only started in May. And we have a lot of programs, especially in Calgary, but slowly we're trying to bring programs back to Edmonton that had been lost a couple of years ago. Right now, what we have in Edmonton, we have a goal ball, recreational goal ball is what we play on Wednesday nights. We just started that this past Wednesday, and Carrie Anton is a Paralympic gold ball athlete, and she is running the program, and so it's really exciting. That program is for youth, kind of about age 10 to 17. There's about an hour for them, and then there's an hour and a half for adults afterwards. Does everyone know what goal ball is? No, okay, maybe I should explain that. Goal ball is played on a court that's about the size of a volleyball court, and on either end of the court, the whole length of the court, is the goals. So the idea is that one team rolls the ball as hard as they can to try and get that ball across the other end of the court, and that's a goal. So on either side, there are 3 people per team that are defending that goal, and they do that by sliding their bodies across either direction wherever they hear the ball coming from to try and stop the ball with their bodies. So, and this is not like a soft ball, it's quite hard. It's like as hard, if not harder, than a basketball. So if you can imagine that coming at you, it's quite a fun game. Both teams, all the team members, those who are playing, are blinded, completely blinded. They wear, what are they called? Blindfolds? Not blindfold. They're not called blindfolds, but they're masks. They're like ski goggles that are basically. Yeah, I can't think of the name. But so everybody has the same amount of vision loss in terms of the game being played. But it really can be anybody who's playing it. And that's just to kind of keep things fair. And we have that program, and it actually expands. So if you get really good at it, or if you want to keep going, you can join the Alberta team, which they also practice in Calgary. So I mean, they're always looking for people to come out and be involved. Let's see what else. I also have a program starting that's yoga. Is starting. We actually ran with the CNIB summer camps this summer for children. We had a lady come and she did some yoga with the kids. So we're also going to do a kids yoga on Saturday mornings in November, and adult yoga in November on Thursday nights, just to kind of get that started. In the winter, I'm hoping to get some hockey started. But also these programs, like if you have anything that you'd really like to try, just come and talk to me, because this is the perfect opportunity. We haven't gotten a lot started here in Edmonton, and I'm just starting things up. So if there's something that you're really interested in, that's great. Come and talk to me and let me know, because I could maybe get something started for you. I'll just tell you about a few other things, and then I'll pass it back to you. In the summer, we just started Dragon Sight. It's a dragon boat team that's partially visually impaired and partially sighted, and that's really it's really expanding, because already they're talking about international competition, so it's really exciting. And that one also is pretty cool, because if you have a partner, like your husband or brother or sister that's not sighted, they can also join the team as well, because they need both the visually impaired and the non-visually impaired as well. So the other thing that I want to talk to you about is Sight Night, which we just finished here in Edmonton, but there's one in Calgary, and that's our fundraiser. And every year we have a fun run in the dark, and so that's kind of fun to join in. So everybody who participates gets a headlamp, and they basically go. And this year for Edmonton, we did a 3K walk, a 5K run, and an 8K run. So that was we used to raise funds for ASRAB. So if you want to become a member of ASRAB, it's basically a $10 a year membership fee, unless you get really competitive. Like if you do end up joining the Alberta goalball team and are doing more traveling and stuff with the ASRAB, I think that it becomes a competitive fee of $100, but that we can discuss if you get that far. And I just wanted to mention, like, ASRAB doesn't just support kind of athletes. It's everything from recreational, very basic, from children to seniors. So we also have, like, for example, lawn bowling that a lot of seniors participate in. So that's a lot of fun as well.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, well, thank you, and sorry for putting you on the spot there. But yeah, a lot more. Information best from the service provider. So, of course, if you folks do get a chance to kind of peruse the tables outside, there's a lot more information out there. I know ASRAB, ASVI have their booth out there. AMI, Accessible Media, if you get a chance to go see their booth, pretty exciting stuff as well. I was just chatting with a gentleman last night at one of our functions for this event, just with regards to the services that they provide. So very, very interesting. Again, CNIB, as you come in, one of the, not our counselor, but our client support services can also provide information with regards to different services within the Edmonton and other areas as well. I know I have to wrap up right away. But again, there's, within Edmonton, we've got SAGE, or Seniors Association of Greater Edmonton. There's Edmonton Edmonton Seniors Coordinating Council. So lots of different services that, of course, we can connect you with as well if needed. So I guess I will open it up to questions.
Thanks, Mindy. My son Neil, who's mid-20s, had orientation and mobility training probably first of all about 10 years ago. He's also had refresher training over the years. Probably needs another round. Is that something you also provide?
Oh, most definitely, yes. Of course, as people grow older, their schedule changes, the places they need to go change, the bus routes change,
Yes.
So definitely, if people need refreshers in any of our services, or they just weren't sure about it to begin with, they can just phone in to us and make an appointment. And Janice would most likely be the person that he would work with. She's our orientation and mobility specialist for adults there. So,
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely, as like I was saying, as people's schedules change, we do offer that, or even an independent living skills. If as a child grows older and they want to learn, those independence, those cooking skills, that sort of thing, that we definitely provide those services as well. So, yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thanks. So I have a question for Evelyn. So people, I often get phone calls then where people phone in and say, do you have this or do you have that? So even if it's not something that you presently have, that's something that you work towards, correct?
So yeah, right now, like I said, we're just working on establishing programs. So if people are interested, let's say in soccer, like right now we don't have actually a program running, but there is other contexts that we have within the community that we could maybe provide for you. So for example, there's a guy running a Sockability program, which provides soccer for people with all sorts of disabilities. And so that maybe can be something that we can do to help you out, but yeah.
Any other questions? All right. Well, thanks again for coming today. I know I've got ophthalmologists and researchers in the other room, so much appreciated you find folks attending. Again, take a look at all the tables that are set up, and thanks for coming.
So thank you very much again, Mindy, for sharing your expertise with us, and thanks to everybody who had a question. And Mindy will be available to speak with you during the lunch break. I know that the CNIB has a table that's in the main room where we started the day today, and I'm sure that she will be delighted to ask any questions that you didn't want to ask in front of everybody through a microphone. So the next session in this room is your questions about inherited retinal disease, and that will be actually an open session with Ian McDonald, so people can come and ask any questions that they want to ask, and he'll just try to answer them off the top of his head. So that's a new experiment for us. We'll see how that goes. Emerging treatments for dry AMD, so that's treatments that are in the pipeline, not things you can get yet, but things that are hopefully coming into the research in the next few years, will be happening with Dr. Matthew Tennant. That will be in the room next door, which is called the Prairie Room. And then across the hall, in the main room where we started today, is nutrition and inherited retinal disease, and that's with Dr. Yves Sauvé. And that, again, is in the Maple Leaf Room across the hall. So those sessions all start at 5 after 11, so we have a few minutes now. If you want to just talk to your neighbor, if you want to chat casually with Mindy, or if you want to visit some of the exhibit tables perhaps in the hall here. So thank you for coming, and we'll see you soon.